I thank the gentleman. We are not in agreement, Mr. Speaker. What would we be doing would be 180 degrees different. We would not be pretending that we're going to repeal an Affordable Care Act that has been a success. We do not agree, Mr. Speaker, that having 30 million Americans insured that were not insured before the Affordable Care Act is a failure. We do not agree that people with pre-existing conditions can now get insurance is a failure. We do not agree that people who are 26 or younger being on their family's policy when they don't have a job or alternative insurance is not a failure. We do not agree that Americans having the security that their insurance will not be canceled because they've reached an annual limit is a failure. We do not agree that Americans having no lifetime limits so that they have a catastrophic illness, they will still have coverage. That is not a failure. What is a failure is to have pretended for the last 6 years that they wanted to repeal the Affordable Care Act and have no replacement as of this time. That is a failure. The President says, Mr. Speaker, that his plan is going to make sure that everybody is insured, comprehensive coverage, and that costs will come down. He, of course, Mr. Speaker, has not offered a bill to affect that objective. We would welcome such a bill so that we could consider it. No, Mr. Speaker, had the 3 million additional people who voted for Hillary Clinton, more so than voted for Donald Trump, prevailed, the Electoral College prevailed. But the majority of the American people that voted the plurality voted for policies to keep the Affordable Care Act, as Mrs. Clinton said she would do if she were elected. So, Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is in deep error, and we would be having the same debate. But he is right. We had an outcome of a party and a president who said they were going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. GOP conference chair Kathy McMorris Rodgers stated, "Let me be clear. No one who has coverage because of Obamacare today will lose that coverage." The majority leader said something about the president saying, if you like your policy, you can keep it. In fact, the president was substantially right on that. Yes, were there minimums coverage so that people weren't scammed by insurance companies and saying you got insurance, but, oh, by the way, we don't cover that. By the way, we don't cover that. Seen those ads about I bought a new car and I had a wreck a day later, and guess what? The insurance company wants to give me 80%, 90%, 70% less. That's what the insurance companies were doing, and people thought they had insurance for something, and they didn't have it. So Kathy McMorris Rodgers says, you're not going to lose anything. Well, I don't know if it was so bad, why don't you repeal it? Why don't you offer a bill to repeal it and to undermine all those factors of the Affordable Care Act that are now available to the Americans that I suggested? President Trump, I said this, but I want to repeat it, said last month that Republicans were nearing completion of an ACA replacement that would provide insurance for everybody. Bring it on. Bring it on. Insurance for everybody. Let's see it. He went on to say his plan would have lower numbers, much lower deductibles. God bless him. Bring it on. Let us see it. Let's vote on it. It's not on the floor, and I'm not sure when it will be on the floor, but perhaps the majority leader can tell us. I'm going to yield just a second, because my question to you is, when do you expect such a bill, consistent with the President's representation to the American people of everybody having insurance and at lower cost and lower deductibles, When do we expect a bill like that on the floor? And I yield to